Hello, everyone. This is another study of Oahspe.com podcast video, copyright for YouTube. Today's subject will be Cevorkum, the sub-galactic orbit of the solar system. Now, right there is Our Universe is Thicker Than Blackberries, Discourses on Gödel Magic. Says here, above is from the book Our Universe is Thicker Than Blackberries, Discourses on Gödel Magic by Martin Gardner, 2004. On page 108 of the above book, the author makes a common mistake I have heard. He states that according to Oahspe, our solar system travels in an orbit around the Milky Way galaxy that takes 4,700,000 years. This is false and a failure to understand Oahspe. The 4,700,000 year orbit of Cevorkum that Oahspe speaks of is a sub-galactic orbit around the North Star Polaris, not a galactic orbit around the Milky Way. And as you read below on this page, you will see Newborough accomplish much more than not such a bad guess, but he gave an accurate number based on the unknown distance to Polaris at the time and the unknown speed of the solar system at the time in 1881. See proof in mathematics below. See what this person says in the book, Our Universe is Thicker Than Blackberries. He says a mammoth vortex is planets and moons are the centers of smaller vortices, and so on and so forth. And then he says Jehovah states that our solar system travels in an orbit so huge that it takes 4,700,000 years to complete one revolution. Astronomers today estimate that the solar system completes its orbit around the center of the Milky Way galaxy in about 200 million years. However, in Newborough's day, 4,700,000 was not such a bad guess. And as I just read to you, he gets it wrong. And I actually did the mathematics on that, and you can read that. This is from studyofoahspe.com page called, I'll scroll up here. It's called Extrasolar Planets Cevorkum Light Speed. So I'll scroll back down. And here under Google, it talks about the galactic year, also known as cosmic year, is the duration of time required by the solar system to orbit once around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Estimates of the length of one orbit range from 225 to 250 million terrestrial years. Now, right here I write, the term subgalactic orbit is so unique. When you Google subgalactic orbit, all results refer to this study of Oahspe.com website except for one. And that website right here says that makes a joke about people being so phenomenally dense that they may in fact be the center of a subgalactic orbit pattern. And if I click on that link, let's see what comes up. Yeah, anyway, out of that. And let's see, subgalactic orbit, Google search July 2016 I did. And there you see right there. The results came up. This one from my website, studyofOSB.com, studyofOSB.com. That one is from another website, but it refers to my website there, The Power of Vortexia by Robert Bayer. And as I said, only one here did not refer to my website. So that is a pretty unique term, sub-galactic orbit, as proved by the Google search results. Let's see if I click on there. Okay. Now, I first saw the term sub-galactic orbit in reference to our solar system from Removing Oahspe's Enigma by Jim Denon. And I'm going to click on this link, use a sub-galactic term in reference right here. This is a link to Jim Denon's work. And he says right here, Cevorkum is the sub-galactic orbit of our solar system. Great Serpent Tau Cygni, currently moving toward the constellation of Hercules, and so on and so forth. Use a sub-galactic term in reference to Cevorkum near top that I just showed you. And then the next link from Jim Denon, September 1979. And I click on the link. And there you go. From Removing Oahspe's Enigma, Jim Denon, September 1979, putting it all together. And you can read that for yourself. But he's the one that I recognize as the first to use that term in reference to our solar system's orbit, sub-galactic. Here's some more Jim Denon's work, Cosmic Times and Seasons, putting it all together. That was that link that I just clicked on. There's a picture of Jim Denon and his mom. And here below is astronomical evidence that the sun is in a sub-galactic orbit around Polaris, the North Star. Right here you see that image right there is of the Milky Way galaxy, in the green serpentine. You know, the solar system in Oahspe is called the Great Serpent, and you can see the serpentine-like motion, wave-like undulating up and down motion around the Milky Way galaxy. And you also see it right there. And there's a image of the solar system and Earth. And there's the central galactic plane and its cyclic movement right there. See, very serpentine and snake-like. And scientists recognize that the sun, following a short wave-like path, as pictured above right there, takes it above and below the galactic plane. So there you see right there. And this I am interpreting as sub-galactic orbits, because not only does it do the wave-like serpentine up and down motion, as you see in this illustration right here of a sine wave, a spiral sine wave, as it moves up and down and spirals, it also moves in a circle. That circle is its orbit around a central object, which according to Oahspe would be Polaris, the North Star. So as you can see there in that illustration, each of that circle is its sub-galactic orbit, as it's orbiting the Milky Way galaxy in that image above. And I write here, wave-like path equals spiral circular sine wave motion equals crest to trough equals half circle or diameter. Crest to crest or trough to trough equals full circle circumference or orbit, called Cevorkum or Cevorkum in Oahspe. And there you have an image there of crest and trows and the cycle of the wave-like motion. And here you have an image right here of the Milky Way galaxy. Um, and you see there the star Vega, and there's our solar system, and right there is the pole star or Polaris, right nearby. And here you have an image of the Milky Way galaxy from above, and right below you have it there on edge. And right here is that serpentine wave-like motion of the solar system. Sub-galactic orbits around the Milky Way Cevorkum. And right here, you see right here is the sun and its planets, the solar system. And you can see these spiral motions around the sun. Those are the planets in the solar system, as the whole system makes a spiral serpentine motion around the galaxy. And there you can also see it. And then you can see clearly right there is the sun and the planets as it's taking this spiral serpentine motion going around the galaxy. Now, according to astronomers, it takes the galaxy 250 million years. It takes our solar system 250 million years to do an orbit around the Milky Way galaxy. Now, according to Oahspe, it takes 4.7 million years for the solar system to make its sub-galactic orbit around Polaris. So if you divide 250 million by 4.7 million, you get a little over 53. That would be 53 sub-galactic orbits for each galactic orbit. And that's what these spirals, these circular spirals right here represent sub-galactic orbits as it goes around the Milky Way and makes one orbit. And here's a link to a video on YouTube that illustrates this. And it's from the same source, djsadhu.com, who did an animated video of the solar system in spiral motion, with the planet spiraling around the sun as it moves through regions of the galaxy. He also provided a video showing this same motion going around the galaxy. In each one of these little spiral motions, as I said, these are the subgalactic orbits. And in the center of these orbits would be the pole star Polaris, or the sun's sun. And at 154 to 216 of this video above shows the Milky Way galaxy and the sine wave subgalactic orbits of the solar system as it orbits the center of the galaxy. And from removing Oahspe's Enigma by Jim Dennon below, picture below shows Polaris, North Star, or N star, just above the galactic plane, which is a dashed line in the center of the sun's orbit, number 1, above and below the galactic plane. So that's right here. Here's where it pictures the N star, the North Star. Here's the Serpent's orbit, our solar system, or solar phalanx, with the North Star in the middle. This circle right here, number 1, is our solar system. And other circles represent other solar systems and their planets. Keep in mind, when Oahspe was written in 1881, when it was typed, they were not aware of or had not discovered yet any extrasolar planets. That means planets in other solar systems in orbit, as it's pictured right here by Oahspe in Jim Dennon's work. So scrolling down. Now, this illustration right here shows galaxy with sub-vortices within it. See, here's the whole galaxy in these little circular oval patterns or sub-vortices within it. And there's an enlarge of the sub-vortices, which are smaller versions of the larger vortices, a fractal. Here's the whole pattern of the galactic vortice, and these are the small patterns within it of the sub-galactic vortices. And of course, you see fractal patterns all throughout the universe and nature. So, and that was from, says above illustration shows galaxy and sub-vortices within it. A quote, every vortex contains sub-vortices. Again, every vortex contains sub-vortices. We know the galaxy is one big vortex. So there are sub-vortices within it. And that is what Oahspe is referring to when it speaks of Cevorkum, of the sub-galactic orbit. So there is a scientific foundation for that concept. Every vortex contains sub-vortices. That's a quote from pages 235, 236 of the Universal Cycle Theory, published in 2011 by Stephen J. Puentz, a mathematician and statistician, and Glenn Borchardt, PhD, geology, geophysics. And see it here. Here it says the solar motion on top of its circular orbit about the center of the galaxy, which has a period of about 230 million years, can be described by how fast it's going in 3 different directions. And right here it says epicycle, geometry. A small circle whose center moves around the circumference of a larger one. So that's what is pictured here. These small circles right there, whose center, as it says here, whose center moves around the circumference of a larger one, meaning the galaxy. Sub-galactic orbit equals a small circle whose center moves around the circumference of a larger one. Galactic orbit equals a larger one. The subgalactic orbit is just one of many number of cycles within cycles. The subgalactic orbit is just a cycle, subgalactic within a cycle, galactic. Now, interestingly enough, Guatemala, cradle of Mayan civilization, the cradle of Oahspe, Native American Indian in Guatemala, where the Ayans first landed after the sinking of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean. Maya astronomy. The Maya are well known for their precise calendar and astronomy. The Maya incorporated their astronomical and calendrical data into an intricate mathematical discipline. The Maya also incorporated mathematically contrived long count dates and distance numbers into their codices and inscriptions. Using these and other techniques, the Maya developed mathematical frameworks through which astronomical and calendrical cycles could be viewed as interconnected parts of a grand astronomical order. Over a century of formal scholarly investigations has enabled a fairly broad understanding of the nature of ancient Maya thought processes behind this grand astronomical order. Alcyone, the central star of the Pleiades, is located at 30 degrees from Taurus near the constellation Orion. The Tzolk'in is the sacred calendar of the Maya and is based on the cycles of the Pleiades. The cycle of the Pleiades uses 26,000 years that the sun orbiting Alcyone, the central star of the Pleiades. And I have a link to that you can click on and read whenever you want when visiting my website. Distance to Earth, 400 light years. Alcyone, brightest star in Pleiades. And that's from wikipedia.org. In Oahspe, the great central sun around which our solar system rotates is Polaris, North Star, the radius or center of Cevorkum, at a distance of 434 light years from Earth. Now, 400 divided by 434 equals 0.921 equals 92.1% same distance of Mayan great central sun and Oahspe great central sun. Polaris and Alcyone Pleiades on Sky Star Map. I had a link there. You click and you see right here. Let's see, where is that? Right there. There is Polaris right there. And there's Alcyone right there in the sky map. So, at different places, but relatively speaking, not as far apart as, say, the other stars in this map. Going back. An above drawing by John Blue Newborough of the central pole star in Oahspe. Plate illustrations of corporal worlds, which is right here. Right there. And there's the pole star, North Star in the center. Pole star equals Polaris. Pole star usually refers to Polaris, which is the current northern star, also known as the North Star. And that's from wikipedia.org, pole star. And here you see a map of the North Pole of the Earth, and you see it in the center of the Arctic Circle and everything around it. And that center of the Arctic Circle would be like Polaris, the pole star, which is the center of Cevorkum, the sub-galactic orbit. Same analogy. Above map says here of the North Pole at the center of the Arctic Circle, just as Polaris, the North Star, is the center of Cevorkum, also spelled Cevorkum, the sub-galactic orbit circle of our solar system. Knowing where the North Star is located and its distance from the Earth in light years is important for calculating prophecy. Orachnebuahgalah plate. There is a hidden astronomical mathematical code to prophecy based on light years distance to the North Star and light years travel of our solar system, which I went over on my videos about the Orachnebuahgalah light years distance. That was discovered in 2014 by the author, me, of this website. And see mathematics on the blackboard below. So this is what I showed before in my previous videos of the mathematics and equation related to the light years distance to Polaris and Cevorkum. And here's from a YouTube video that I have a link to right there. Shows the sun in its orbit right there, and the line next to it is Polaris in its orbit through a section of the galaxy. So they're pretty close by according to that illustration in that video. The cycles of the sun, the North Star belt they're in. Oahspe, the lords took on corporal forms and reasoned with mortals, especially on the stars and moon and on the earth, teaching the philosophers the four motions of the earth: axial, oscillaic, orbitic, and vorkum. The plan of the Hissagal and the cycles of the earth, the cycles of the sun and the cycles of the sun's sun, the North Star belt therein, and the vortices that move them all. Book of Wars Against Jehovah, chapter 37, verse 7. And there is a picture of Polaris, an astronomical picture of Polaris right there. This artist concept shows two class F star supergiant Polaris A and its distant companion Polaris B. That's an artist concept. Polaris, center light years distance 434. The center of Cevorkum, the master sun, the sun's sun. So it's Nibiru is not the sun's sun that is spoken of in Oahspe.